my top 10 sci fi television programs. Now, what is a sci fi television program to me? Well, it's something futuristic, or at least with some scientific gadgets in it. So let's see where our list starts, and of course, where it ends. Now, our list will start with Star Trek, not the Next Generation or Voyager, the original Star Trek, 1966. I'm 9 years old and in the fifth grade. This is one of the hottest shows on television when we get to see it. Now, we asked my mom if she'll cut our hair and give us pointy sideburns like the crew of the Enterprise. She did. Of course, moms do things to make kids happy. Now, for some more science fiction, on Saturday mornings we had Johnny Quest. Now, whether Johnny Quest was battling frogmen with lasers or robotic crawling eyes, it was sure to be cartoon cutting edge. And of course, the Jetsons. How could you have cartoon sci fi without George Jetson and Rosie the Robot? Spacely Sprockets was the place to work in the future, and George Jetson was their star. Now, next, it's Batman. Batman with all of his scientific gadgets. Adam West and Burt Ward fighting a litany of colorful villains. And the Batmobile was one of the coolest cars on television. Friday nights was the time of the Wild Wild West, with Ross Martin and Robert Conrad as James West and Artemis Gordon. A cool train with secret rooms and compartments, a beautiful black stallion, a cool, tight fitting outfit, karate skills that were amazing for their period, and gadgets and gizmos for any situation. The president would send these two Secret Service agents in to save the country from any threat, whether it be Dr. Miguelito Loveless or a flying saucer. Twilight Zone. Now, Twilight Zone was on most of the time of my youth. This is probably the premier anthology series in the history of television, and TV stars and future stars can be found sprinkled throughout all of its stories. Next up would be Lost in Space. Now, 1965 is when this show started. It was on Wednesday nights, and the talk of the schoolyard Thursday morning was Lost in Space. The Space Family Robinson with Dr. Smith and the robot, and the flying saucer, the Jupiter 2, was all we wanted to play with. My parents would take pie tins and make them into little Jupiter 2 flying saucers for us. Now, that may sound corny in today's world, but these were the kind of things we did back in the 60s. We did make a lot of our toys. Now, the number 4 show on this list would, of course, be The Adventures of Superman. Now, this would be the first science fiction show I remember watching. I watched it before I started school. Well, the show started before I was born. Yeah, even I'm not that old. But The Adventures of Superman, number 4 on my list. The list of honorable mentions may be as long or longer than the list. My Favorite Martian, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, The Outer Limits, Time Tunnel, Land of the Giants, some obscure titles, Mr. Terrific, Captain Nice, My Mother the Car. What this means is the 60s were a great time to be a boy, and science fiction was just everywhere to be found on television. Even with just 3 channels, you could get a sci-fi fix almost every day of the week. Years have passed, I've grown up and moved cross country. I have discovered public television, and on public television on Saturday nights, there are British comedies and British science fiction shows. So now I've got a taste for the BBC, and the top 3 shows on my list are all from the BBC. Coming in at number 3 is Blake 7. Blake 7 has a 4-series run and is well worth your time. Raj Blake will captain the spaceship Liberator in their battles against the Federation. Now, the crew will change. This is not one of the shows where the crew does not face danger and suffer the consequences. The show was created by the creator of the Daleks and is full of Doctor Who writers, producers, and actors. So enjoy Blake 7. Number 2 on the list will be Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf started in 1988, and this year, 2019, season 13 is being recorded. It's been 30 years of the journeys of Dave Lister and crew on the mining ship Red Dwarf. I can't explain this show. You'll have to watch it itself, but do not expect continuity. Red Dwarf, number 2 on our list. And of course, who's number 1? No one else but Doctor Who. Doctor Who, which started in 1963, is the show that I think is the best science fiction show of all time. Now, on Saturday nights on public television, we used to see all of the classic Doctor Who. We've got to see a new series starting in 2005. The show has gone for over 50 seasons and hopefully will go for 50 more. The Doctor is a great creation. The TARDIS is a wonderful machine. The show keeps evolving. The show keeps changing. It's television for today, tomorrow, and yesterday. If you cannot enjoy Doctor Who, maybe science fiction is not for you. Well, that's our list. Again, shows I watched as a boy and shows I watch now as an adult. I hope you enjoyed it. But we also have a new DVD package that came in. So let's open this up and see what we got in the mail. Woohoo! Oh, yes. New Beginnings. Castrovalva, the Keeper of Traken, and Logopolis. All right, I'll be watching these again soon and telling you what I think of them. So, no recommendation today because every show on this list I would recommend to you. So thank you, good night, and stay safe.